Hello, welcome back to the IEM Oakland SEA qualifiers. We are just about to get underway with map number 1 between MVP PK and Mineski. But hold the presses, Danny.
Hold the presses?
I want to know.
What's this news, Elfish?
There is no news, actually, unfortunately. I just want to know, what do you think the scoreline's going to be here? We know our first two maps. We know Mirage. We know Inferno. Do you think it's going to be a 2-0 for MVP, or
I am
is Mineski going to
a
get
little
that one
bit
on
confident, yeah, that it will be a 2-0 to MVP. I think
Okay.
MVP at this stage are kind of looking forward to maybe even their later games, maybe just to the confidence that they have. But for Mineski, you know, they're not written out of this necessarily, but it has to be done on Mirage, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I'm a little bit concerned about MVP on Mirage. That's my only real question mark about them, because we don't see them on it too much. I don't know how well they're going to be able to perform here. However, we do know that they have that strong double AWP setup if HSK and Solo are on the field. And if they're starting on CT, which I have to imagine they will be because it's their opponent's map, then perhaps they will be having a pretty good time, because we know they're generally speaking a pretty good team on the CT side with HSK, with Solo AWPing. HSK is going to be very, very mobile around the map. Solo probably just going to be holding down a single line. And then hopefully for MVP, that's going to be a pretty good situation. But, I mean, again, you can't really tell until you get into the server, until you start watching these two teams play, because we've never seen them play each other in the past. So there's a lot of question marks about this matchup.
Yeah, a lot of question marks indeed. And at this stage, we have seen MVP PK, when they do struggle, they struggle against that puggy, kind of unpredictable style. And, you know, Mirage does lend itself to that somewhat. You know, it's definitely no nuke or, you know, cobblestone. So at this stage, if they get caught out, you know, maybe a couple of situations where they get pushed, rushed, they get set upon unsuspectedly, MVP could be in a little bit of trouble. We have seen them falter when it comes down to situations like that. And, you know, for Mineski, all they have to do is land their shots, and all of a sudden you look at it, it's like a 7-8-0 scoreline. And you see that MVP, like I said, they have a little bit of disciplinary issues when it comes down to their economy, and they dig themselves that hole. It could be looking at a 11-4, 10-5 half. And, you know, you favor them on the T side as well. You know, I think they're more of a T side based team. They have a lot of good strats. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, they do have that great, powerful double AWP setup that does lend themselves to lock down those sites. But I think they can be very dynamic on the T side. We did see, you know, there was a little bit down on Inferno on Friday, but they did bring it back, and it was one of their more convincing wins. But, you know, it's up to Mineski to kind of claw this game away from MVP, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if Mirage does go poorly for Mineski, I think moving on to Inferno, again, we probably favor MVP there, but it's not necessarily the case that it's just going to be a whitewash here for them, because we have obviously seen Mineski playing on Inferno recently. They don't play it a lot, but they do have a fairly decent win rate on it. So overall, I feel like both of these maps are actually going to be fairly comfortable here for Mineski. Definitely we know that one of them is going to be comfortable for MVP, which is Inferno. But that first map of Mirage, a couple of questions about that one. I still think it should be okay, though, for MVP. I'm probably leaning towards the side of a 2-0 here for MVP, and I think you were kind of on the same token.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you know, we can't count Mineski out here. They're a quality team with a couple of quality players that have been kind of burgeoning on that Tier 1 kind of level over in Asia, whereas MVP have been established there for like the last 178 years. They've been there for a while through multiple iterations of the game. Having said that, if MVP, you know, they can be slow to start, and if they take out Mirage, I cannot see them dropping Inferno, so I do favor that 2-0 scoreline.
Yeah, definitely, but they will be starting most likely on the T side of Inferno, right? So we saw them starting on the T side of Inferno.
You don't like the MVP T side, do you?
I don't.
You're not convinced?
I don't dislike it. It's just that we have definitely seen them playing poorly on Inferno T side. So I always have to have that question mark in my mind about how they're going to go on that T side, because we saw them against the Mongols.
Just remember Zen League Season 1 finals, where one of the T sides they were bringing out plays from like 1967 1.6, and they were just running riot against teams like Immunity, now known as, you know, Greyhound. And I think that's the T side that will come up. There's a lot of impetus on this game. You know, it's not just a regular season. This is for IEM Oakland. That's a huge deal, especially for these Asian teams that might not get the exposure to these larger scale tournaments that a lot of these, you know, NA EU teams have. So I think, you know, the experience, the big game players have got a great organization behind them. Mineski, I'm sure they get the support, but just on the scale of teams, experience, players, it all falls into the favor of MVP PK. Yeah,
when you do look at the teams that are left in this bracket, I mean, there's like, I think for every single team, there's a good chance that they can actually make it to IEM Oakland. I mean, MVP, PK, Rekka, Mongols, the Chiefs, they're the ones that I'm looking at to make their way through from that first round of matches from today, as in the ones that are currently going on right now or are about to start. If those 4 teams make it through, we'll have MVP versus Rekka, which I could see probably going either way.
Yeah.
And then on the bottom side of the bracket, well, it's not really the bottom side, but it's the same, anyway, the other side of the bracket.
On the page, it's on the lower part.
Yeah, it's on the lower part. It's not the lower bracket. That's what I was trying to save myself from, because that would have been all confusing. It's not double elim, it's single elim. But if then those two teams come through, it's the Chiefs versus the Mongols, and I can probably see both of those teams picking up that match as well. I think both of them coming into it, though, are not in amazing form. We've seen Chiefs struggling a little bit lately. We've seen Mongols struggling a little bit lately. And so maybe coming into that, they're both going to be feeling a little bit But the fact that they're both not having a great time at the moment, the fact that they both seem to be at least fairly evenly matched, I would think. Again, we haven't seen them play in a long, long time.
Yeah.
But I do think the Chiefs now is a lot better than the Chiefs then. And I think the Mongols now is probably a little bit worse than the Mongols then, right? So
yeah, definitely will agree with that.
Chiefs have gone up, Mongols have kind of come down.
Not the best way to word it, but I will
Yeah,
agree.
I know. But look, I mean, we've got time to fill, so might as well just drag it out a little bit. But I do feel like they're probably on a similar kind of a level.
Yeah.
Again, we have to wait and see. And hopefully, I actually do hope that we get to see that Chiefs versus Mongols matchup, because I think that's got a lot of history between the two teams. At least the name of the Chiefs. I'm trying to think of any of the players that were actually in that lineup. It was Top Gun Dexter. Was it Zuzi for Chiefs there? Maybe Tux was the only one in there. I'm not even sure if Tux was in that lineup.
I don't think he was, but you'd be forgiven for not remembering lineups. I think there's been
That was a really old Chiefs lineup.
Yeah. I mean, lineups change week to week to try to really figure out a lineup.
Lightstep might have been.
While Jordan is trying to pander that, we have gotten info that MVP have actually won the knife round. So, side picks coming down to knife rounds. MVP have won. Yeah, have won that opening knife fight, and they will be opting for that CT side on Mirage. So every opportunity to start strongly here, and ever so slightly confidence boosted by winning that knife round. Now we'll see how they lock down these bomb sites.
Yeah, I mean, great. Start off on the CT side. That's what we expected from them, because honestly, I thought that they were just going to be starting there because it's their opponent's map pick and they get the choice to side on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's come down to the knife, and so MVP kind of win it anyway. And
well, there's another question that's raised there. You were a little bit lacking confidence for the T side if they, Mineski opt to go to CT in front of the next map.
Yeah.
Now, if they land on the CT side, is that just complete whitewash there for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think so. Anyway, we'll find out very shortly, as we are about to head into map number 1. It is MVP PK, obviously from South Korea, Mineski from the Philippines.
South Korea, the second greatest country in the universe, only to this one that we're here today, Elfish Guy.
Oh, in Australia? Australia.
But here we go. The pistol round coming out. HSK, the only player with a kit. He does have that smoke there, so maybe he can get away with a little bit of cheekiness if it so comes down to that, and Dispenser with the CZ. A couple of players without armor there, Dubstep and Captain Hannibal, aka Hannibal. So here we go. Looks like he will just be going for a contact play. Hey, Hannibal has made his way onto that A bomb site there. He doesn't know. Solo is in towards that smoke, and he will take him down. So, kill feed, a little bit confusing, but that was Zeph that took him down. Nice little shot there coming out from Globe, popping 2 heads off, and now it's just down to Gee and Dubstep, as we do see HSK pick one up for himself here, and Dubstep just trying to make something work, dancing around that short corner. And
that's a good start. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from MVP. I mean, Zeph, pretty clean kill on the A-bomb side, and then Glow, 3 very crisp shots out from him on the B-bomb site. It's a good start. If they can continue that kind of, I suppose, firepower, individual aim, individual success through, then...
you got to think this is going to be a technical issue here, as it's a 1-0
they're getting some
attack
pack
pause.
loss.
Yep.
So it's all right. Just going to wait for them to get that all sorted out.
Yeah, so I mean, like I spoke of the fact that, MVP struggle against these sort of like hotshot aim stars that they do play against to the likes of Boot and Mongols. But if that round there, I mean, it's been 1 round, it's a very quick round out that. It's anything's go by. That was the kind of one factor that I had maybe leaning towards Mineski. But
well, look, to be fair, it is only 1 round. No one was even shooting at Glow there. So
I'm just gonna go home right now. That's it. I think MVP win this 16-0, 16-0.
Best of 1 round. Easy. All right.
I would watch that. That'd be amazing.
Easy.
It just make everything so efficient. IEM Oakland, 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Legit.
People would be happy about that. Nope. All right. What would you rather have? Would you rather have 1 round best of 1s or 100 round best of 10s?
Like best of 10 maps?
Yeah. But you love CS, mate.
Not that much.
That much.
That's going to go for like 3 years. Just be casting 1 series for 3 years. You know, like how...
Oh, it's job security, mate, in this unpredictable esports world.
You know, like how in tennis, if it just keeps going to juice, they just keep going and going and going until someone wins.
Well, that's what
2 extra games.
Can happen, right? In OT.
Yeah, it could. But like, there was that one game. I forget who it was. I think it was the female tennis, and it went to like 40 games or something.
Yeah.
In one set.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those where there's just been.
And it's just they called it off for the night and went and resumed the next day. Like,
oh, really?
You'd have to do that, or you'd have to just have. No, you couldn't, because obviously the players would need to break as well. I was gonna say you would just have to get different casters to come in every like just 40 rounds or something.
Shift.
But
what an insult to the athletes if that's the case, though, right? Like they're on the court playing tennis, and it's like, oh man, I've been talking for as long as I have. I can't do this. I need to tap out.
I need to tap out. Yeah.
You keep going, Serena Williams, but I'm going home. Okay, so a little bit of pack a loss there for MVP. They did win the knife round, opting to go onto the CT side, and they did absolutely clean up that pistol round. Just trying to figure out a couple of issues here. Both Elfish and I are predicting a 2-0 scoreline, and it looks like it may be headed that way based on that one very quick round. But that's all we have to go off.
So quick to jump to conclusions, Danny.
Conclusions are all I have, my friend. Conclusions and very average looks.
Oh, don't sell yourself short, Danny, mate. I'm sure there's the one out there for you.
Well, yes, if my girlfriend's listening, it is you.
Oh,
it might be, I'm just worried that you're going to get me in a bit of trouble, mate.
I won't get you in trouble. I'd never do that. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to have a little bit of an extended pause here while this is all sorted out, which is a little unfortunate. But it is what it is. So we'll just chill here, Danny. And
lots of anticipation. That was a very fiery start.
It was.
We've got to keep the hype train going. Fiery Asian Koreans popping off domes. 1-0. Right now, it's going to be a soccer scoreline.
Soccer scoreline.
Football scoreline.
Are you a fan of football? Are you a fan of football?
Yeah, mate. Manchester United got up yesterday against Southampton, 1-0. Lukaku scored.
Okay, I don't know any of that. I don't follow EPL.
Well, let's get back to this. I don't know. I'm trying to throw to a likeness.
Honestly, I don't think there's anything more that we can say about this matchup that hasn't already been said. So, I mean, if you want to talk about football, then let's go.
No, let's not do that. Let's talk about these wonderful teams. Mineski, MVP.
Okay.
Let's talk about the greater Asian CSGO scene as a whole.
Okay.
You start.
Oh, no. That's not fair. That's hard. All right. The greater Asian CSGO scene
Who is the best team in Asia?
Whoa.
Arguably.
See,
this is just throwing it up in the air.
That is a very loaded question. I mean, wouldn't it be Tyloo, right?
Oh, that's unfair, though. That's cheating. They have... Yeah, I don't... You know, Tyloo was so far and beyond some of those guys sometimes that I just forget they are a Chinese Asian team. I just think of them as an NA team. And I think they are opting to go through the... when they tried to go through the NAEU qualifiers.
Well, they were in Poland, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were boot camping in Poland or something, so they must have had to go through that way. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know all the Asian teams because there's a lot. Aside from Tyloo, I mean...
Here we go.
It's all the Chinese teams,
Let's
really.
keep it relative to old mate here, IEM. It looks like we will be going back to the game, but the question I will ask you, and if there is a subsequent pause after this, which hopefully there won't be, is MVP versus Rekka in that kind of scenario.
That's very hard.
Yeah, we are going into
And that is something we might find out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'd be great to see that matchup. But the MP9 on Glow here, a couple of FAMASs and Solo locking down with that one lonely M4. And we'll see Perry just kind of getting a bit aggressive here. And this, he could be caught out in a bit of a precarious situation.
There's a bit of a hole in that smoke, though. So that's what he's working with right now. So we can pretty much see if anyone's coming in his direction. Mineski have, of course, kind of bought into pistol and armor here. Hannibal did go for the flashbang and the smoke, so he's gone a bit of utility, but only one smoke. I mean, that's going to be probably not enough to get Mineski into one of these sites. Though, in saying that, admittedly, the A-bomb site is relatively undefended at the moment, and this might be the right time because Mineski have got the information that there's a lot of players in mid. Perry's got a big job to do here. He'll drop the bomb carrier. There's no trade out. I'm not sure where G's running off to, but overall, a 2-for-2 trade here still allows enough time for the CTs to get into the A-bomb site. And the timing was good there from Mineski. They knew that they had only one player to deal with on the A site, but they just couldn't get rid of him quick enough. And had he gone down without the bomb being dropped, maybe then Mineski would have just gotten into this side and planted the bomb, but I think it's too late now. MVP have just gotten in there and sort of stabilized on that site. The bomb is still floating around the A-bomb site for Mineski.
Still just a little bit of time left, but it does look like they will be kind of committing towards this site. But the problem is they have absolutely no utility. They have to be dry picking in, but they do have the deagle, so that one-shot capability is an option. And I have seen Dubstep do some pretty sick things with the deagle. So if you're going to open up here, looks like he may be the contact player, but he's only on 48 HP, which might and no body armor, which might lend itself to a little bit of trouble. But it looks like Solo is holding this firebox position. Might spot onto Dispenser. He should be a pretty standard kill if he doesn't check this position. Very common angle nonetheless, but the ladder kills like the way he drops the bomb planner, and there you go.
Yeah.
That was
Easy
just
peasy.
instantaneous three-way fragging coming out. So not the most convincing of rounds, but once again, they hold on to that M4. They hold on to a single for mass. Fortunately, Zeph not able to recover another one of those rifles. And we do head into the third round here. It looks like it will be a hard eco coming for the guys on Mineski.
All right, pistols only, Glocks. The SMG is invested into there by HSK.
1v1 me, pistol only mid, mate.
He might just go for the AWP next round here if he gets a sort of a good cleanup here. I'm not sure where his money is at, but if he can clean up some kills, I'm sure he'd love an AWP in round number 3, or round number 4 even. Zeph starting off well in this round, and there is the Eco Slaw coming out from MVP. The bomb is dropped in apartments. That round was kind of over before it started.
Yeah, fairly clinical stuff. A nice little double there for Solo, and it looks like HSK might opt to hold on to that MP9, seeing if we can bank anything, as you said, to get that AWP sooner rather than later. And this is just kind of that, not necessarily a write-off, but a bit of a buffer bonus around here with the opportunity. But hey, here it is, the opportunity that Mineski needs to kind of turn tide and win a couple of rounds for themselves. The Dubstep AWP. He can open up onto a site here, and he hasn't got another one to contend with, and a bit of a lacking firepower for the guys here on MVP. Nades raining out into main. Hannibal will not find any damage from either of those, as HSK, they love peeking this, don't they? It just makes me so ever so nervy right now, as Captain Hannibal's got a nice little shot there onto HSK, and there goes Zeph once again. So the risk does not pay off at all.
Zeph really needs to be trading that one out. 9 HP after that grenade for Hannibal, but he's done his job there, and that's a little bit poor from MVP. You can't lose a 2v1 like that and hope to win the round subsequently. But for now, MVP still have got a few players left alive. Glow, Perry, and Solo. Perry, over on the A-bomb site, does not have any utilities to play with, but Solo is also... Oh no, sorry, Glow is over there in that way. Solo kind of also watching A, to be honest, through this connector.
And he's actually recovered that AWP off Dubstep here, so this could be the actual turning point in this game if he's not weary. Onto the player on short there, unfortunately. Maybe playing with the old black bars, not seeing G coming towards short. So that's the AWP drop. That was the absolute power play there coming from the guys on MVP. It's going to be very hard to clutch it as Glow gets one frag onto retrack. So there is a 3-on-2 situation. Hannibal's also very low. They have a single nade on Gee, but no one is towards that B bomb site. So at this stage, if they can't find a frag the minute this bomb goes down, a call might be to save.
I think that they probably should just be saving at this point. But Glow seems to be going for it. If he does find this player on short, if Dispenser peaks, that might be the opening that they do need. This kill has to go the way of Glow, though. And it doesn't look like it will. He's being really spammed down. Eventually, he does get dropped by Dispenser there. And that's all over Red Rover here for Perry. He has found himself an M4 to upgrade to, but that's going to be a small consolation prize here for MVP PK. I would have loved to have maybe even kept that AWP if they could have. Unfortunately, though, that's on short, and it will be retrievable for Mineski instead.
Yeah, so a little bit of a messy fight there on short. Dispenser coming away in the end, but that probably should have been sprayed down by one of those players a lot sooner than that. But there you go. First round going to the guys on Mineski, and Dispenser does manage to save that AWP. And the money, HSK could opt for that glass cannon, but he actually does buy an M4 for himself. We'll see if another player does opt to drop him something, but it looks like it will be a rifle setup for the guys on MVP, and maybe they'll be a bit more disciplined going into this round and not taking those aggressive peeks towards main.
Yeah, look, to be honest, it's not too bad really for MVP PK because that last round was kind of the bonus round.
Yeah.
They didn't rebuy any guns. I mean, HSK came into that one with the SMG that he still had last round, but you can see immediately the buy into round number 5 is a lot better here for MVP, and you have to favour them again coming into this one now that the AWP is in the hands of HSK. They've got full rifles across the board. They've got good utilities here. Glow has pushed up and gotten control of the ladder room as well, which is excellent, and could be a bit of a problem here for Mineski because they do seem to be at least edging their way towards short.
Absolutely. So trying to get mid control here, and MVP not really putting up too much of a fight for it, giving it up quite freely. There was a nade pool right now, and Solid does finish off retrack. So this might put a hold on things as Dispenser gets mollied out himself as well. So 5-on-4 right now, still plenty of time left, and it looks like Dispenser's going to go for a bit of a lurk down.
Yeah, this push from Solo is great. Like, he already got one kill out of it. He's got so much information right now. And just buying so much time there for MVP PK, delaying. Dispenser might not have been spotted there by Solo, actually, and should get across here. Now definitely spotted out as Solo drops back into the B site. The rotation still yet to come across from MVP. However, you have to remember that Glow is still sitting in that ladder room, so if the B site is under a little bit of pressure, he can just rotate quickly across, or just deny Mineski pushing up short, which is also a possibility, and then Solo kind of only has one angle to deal with, which he can definitely do on his own. But 5 versus 4, Mineski don't have much time to play with here, and it looks like they're going to just probably push in through the apartments. One player making his way up short, and that is G. Does not know the positioning yet of Glow, but Solo's found the first kill, and Glow's backed off the angle at just the wrong time, but the kill does not come across. Glow has a challenge, won't win it, but Solo's there for the trade. Perry across from the B onto the B site, rather from the A site, and managed to come in with a bit of a reinforcement there for Solo. And Solo definitely did a good job over there. I mean, 3 kills from him out on the B site from your anchor. Like, you can't really hope for too much more. And, like, you'd be happy if someone got 3 kills on your team, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and I thought Gear actually whiffed that there, the timing getting the back of one of those MVP players, but eventually does get the kill, giving the team a little bit of a chance there. The typical split onto B, but yeah, Solo just locking it down the side, and all importantly still in the hands of HSK. We haven't seen him do too much with it as of yet, as he hasn't faced too many players, but now it looks like he will go for a cheeky peek towards mid. We do know how much these players look to go towards mid, but it looks like it's just going to be a standard, you know, Solo matchmaking call to rush B at this stage. And speaking of Solo, he has done quite well in this position, and he does have a few utilities, so we'll see what we can do. But he actually doesn't have any smokes or molly, so this might come into play right now as Glow throws out a nade and manages to find a headshot through the wall there. Now it's just going to be an absolute slaughter. We'll see if they can even get out, but Bonner has been dropped. Until these players are really low, they're just going to come flying through the window and try to find something special there. Solo's just going to try to pad his stats with that USP, but it's getting set upon by 3 different players. He molly rains out after the fact, so nice little anti-eco there with Solo and getting another 3K.
Yeah,
so
great.
Doing great
Use
job
of utility as well over on that B site from MVP. Saw the grenade come out from Solo, did quite a lot of damage onto one of those players down to 17 HP. And then the Molotov, the incendiary, comes across into the apartments as well, and Mineski kind of already committed to that push by that stage, so it was pretty much perfect timing. On the incendiary, they had to push through. Half their players were in the site, and half of them had to push through. And so it just ended up being a really clean, easy sort of a hold for MVP. They didn't allow Mineski to steamroll them, waterfall off the apartment, and just overwhelm them on that B bomb site. So, yep, great stuff from MVP. If you've got the utilities, use them, and they did. And now coming into this round again with a pretty decent chance. But that's a nice entry from G. And the A bomb site now is open. However, the rotation's starting to come across pretty quickly from MVP PK.
Absolutely. Give Perry every chance to kind of win that fight, but he goes down, so it does open up the bomb site. Zeph here in a nice little spot towards connector there. Retrack not pushing any further if Zeph can find a frag here. As HSK does open up, it gets traded straight away. Solo finds Hannibal. Now Zeph spotted a play towards Palace. This is such a crucial aim duel. Zeph just not getting the spray down that he required and doesn't have a nade to kind of finish him off, so he knows where a player is, but he could just be the absolute thorn in the side there, not picking up that frag as Retrack actually gets onto Solo and he actually takes the peak. So now it's a one-on-one situation.
How does Dispenser get that kill?
Oh goodness, Gee, once again getting the back of a player, taking down Zeph to clutch out the round. So probably more of an easy situation as he was on 13 health. Could have been grim, but they managed to take that round by the skin of their teeth.
Still, we're at 5-2 right now for MVP, and I didn't like. I just kind of looked up at the scoreboard and I was like, "Wait, we've seen 7 rounds already? It doesn't really feel like we've been that far already into the first half, and it does feel like it's a little bit closer at the moment than a 5-2 scoreline would dictate." But Mineski only able to find their second round there, and their money's still not that great. Again, a pretty dangerous situation for that team. If they do go down in this round, of course, that's going to be a reset in terms of the economy, and just, of course, another round for MVP, where they're already starting to build up that CT half score pretty nicely. Zeph opening up, and that's not good news for Mineski.
Yeah, it just looks like the Mineski T-side, the executes there, are just a little bit lacking. We've seen a lot of dry pigs, aim duels going to the favor of them, and they're the way that, hey, that's the way that they have kind of picked up those 2 rounds, but they have been losing a lot of plays in the process. As such, you do see Dubstep and Hannibal on the UMP there, and they already have lost that player thanks to a nice little peek from Zeph towards that mid position. So, I mean, they haven't really done too well when they've had 5. Now they've got 1 less and really lacking firepower when you do have all things considered. But they do still have a few utilities left in hand. And just over a minute left, it looks like they will be kind of making their way ever so slowly towards that A bomb site, where it is kind of a little bit of a stack here with Glow just kind of holding towards that ladder room. He loves that room, doesn't he?
Yeah, but look at all these late round utilities that are available for MVP. If Mineski does push onto this A-bomb site. They're going to have to deal with a couple of incendiaries, some smokes as well. Zeph's in a good spot by the firebox and will just completely dispatch of Dubstep. Gets pushed out by that incendiary, but the ones that I'm talking about there for MVP, HSK finding himself one with his own, and then another kill with the AWP. Overall, that seemed like a very, very easy hold from MVP. When you're coming into the site late like that for Mineski, you don't get the first entry, and then you're kind of stuck by Tetris when MVP's got 2 incendiary nades. It's never going to end well for you.
Indeed, it's going to be difficult. At the best of times, we see Dispenser there with the only rifle on hand. He looks like he actually will drop it, making its way around, but actually comes back to Hannibal. No, they're just not sure what's happening. They're just trolling me right now, but I think Guy will be the player to stick on it. So they're just forcing up behind this full armor on a couple of those player Dispensers, just that lone deagle on him and that single flash. So might be going for a bit of a speedy play here, or just see if they can find any kind of aggression. But at this stage, it is MVP's round to lose. A solo actually gets dinged straight away down to 3 health. If he picks this line again, they should... Oh, actually crosses the smoke and the firing through it to get over with his life. So that's very fortunate for him. And having that 5th player might be all important here.
Yeah, a little bit surprising that Solo hasn't gone for the head armor in this round. I'm not sure what his money was at coming into it, but you'd think... yeah, he's got 2,000. I mean, you'd think, knowing the fact that Mineski's economy is going to probably be broken, you know, you're going up against pistols. I suppose, I don't know, like he's gotten away with it, but it just feels like you maybe leaving a little bit to chance by not picking up that head armor.
Maybe just relying a bit too much on the old pistol nerfs there. But having said that, we have seen some interesting calls coming out from MVP on these eco rounds, haven't we? Or, you know, the occasional buy-up of the SMGs. As we do see the entry onto that bomb site there. Guy actually getting that pick onto Perry there, so you really wouldn't put it past Perry to win that fight. And the nades raining out.
Zeph's in a great spot here, though. He'll be able to find at least 2, one would think. Only gets 1, but Zeph is able to get another. Oh, he's just been absolutely demolished, and Guy having a like an amazing day. I don't even know what is going on right now, but he seems to be the only one stepping up here for Mineski, getting entries out the wazoo with that AK. And 13 HP now. That incendiary from Solo could just prove crucial right now, but he's still rotating across. If he can get it down in time, the bomb only just now being planted. Here it comes. Oh, missed it. That's not great, but still Glow manages to get the frag anyway. It was never going to be an easy situation there for Guy. He would have had to ace out the round as well. But yeah, he just needs someone else to step up. You know, someone else to get 1 frag, and then maybe they win a round. But at the moment, it's the one-man show for Mineski.
It is indeed, Dave. That kind of a spray transfer going a little bit too early, leaving him on 3 health, I do believe it was. But the AWP there for HSK recovered. And now, once again, the money of Mineski is looking kind of grim. We'll see what they can come up with here. They could get away with pistol, and they go into that 3rd round, so they will get that $2,400 bonus and kind of have a very decent buy in the next round. And we do see a couple of diggles come out. P2 fit is all round and retrack, so we'll see if they can have some sort of execute, maybe get that bomb down, maybe a couple of frags to add notches on the belt. But at this stage, the round looks like they'll be going down to MVP as HSK just kind of holding this sneaky angle. Not really sneaky, pretty standard default angle there, just trying to whip a couple of shots through as Zeph, he loves peeking mid, doesn't he? Gets another frag to open up the account. And at this stage, with Dispenser, he's just holding his line there. He's just like praying that he doesn't go down, which he doesn't.
Yeah.
But having a photo of the Hound there, I think that's not good karma.
You don't reckon? He's pretty
badass.
badass.
Get burnt. But he does survive, I guess.
Exactly.
Nonetheless, we digress. 7-2. The pistol buy-up coming from Mineski, not too much. There was a couple of smokes and the flashbang on retrack, so maybe just trying to get onto that site, do a little something sneaky, but they're just trying to wait for a pick here, and I don't think MVP will be giving too much of an inch there, but just playing with fire, peeking into that deagle.
Dispenser's in a good spot here, and Glow doesn't know that he's there. Dispenser does have a P50 though, so needs to land 2 headshots, which obviously is not going to happen. And an easy kill in the end for Glow. 3 versus 5 now. Mineski not doing a whole lot on this eco round, as with pretty much every single eco round that they've had so far, which has been quite a few, actually. 3 plus 2 pistol rounds, 2 pistol force buys as well. So most of these rounds that MVP are picking up are actually relatively straightforward. And Mineski's just not being able to get that economy rolling at all. Seems as soon as they win a round, they just get reset straight off the bat, and then MVP wins 3, and then they let Mineski win another one, and rinse and repeat, and eventually you're at sort of an 11-4 or a 12-3 kind of a half.
Indeed, and just thinking of the fact that this is the map pick of Mineski, and their T side has been a bit lackluster. We could put it down to the strongholds of MVP, but really they've been doing kind of standard stuff, and just the one-outs from the guys on Mineski, individual players opening up the sites to pick up those 2 rounds, and not too much else. I haven't really seen anything impressive from them, which really grows me to be concerned for their T side on Inferno.
Does a little bit. I mean, that could be a real big problem if they have to start off on T side as well, given the fact that we do know that it is now the knife round that decides the side. But Guy, again, looks like going to get another entry here as Perry is kind of caught off guard. Does go down, though. That's the key player dropped for Mineski. But Dispenser is able to at least get a trade out. And it's 3 versus 4 with the site secured here for Mineski. That Incendiary is not going to put any pressure on Hannibal, who was a bit too far behind it. But a push through the smoke from Dispenser, not so sold on that one.
Yeah, but Retrack here should get a nice frag onto Solo, which he does, and he knows where the second player is, but Dubstep will take him down on the AWP shot coming up from HSK. So if we can find another one here, might give him an opportunity, but trying to retake this bomb site with that AWP in hand might prove a little bit difficult. He does have a Deagle as well if it so comes to it, but if these guys don't peek, they know HSK is the AWP player. Will he go for this though? He doesn't have an opportunity to do, as Hannibal takes him straight down. So there is the 3rd round. They do recover the AWP as well. Money, you know, it's not in the worst shape, but they will be lacking a couple of utilities for the guys over on Mineski. But, you know, such subsequent rounds in a row, MVP are just laughing right now going to the bank.
They certainly are. All in the hands of Spencer this round for Mineski, it seems. Well, I wonder if he's maybe got a good spawn for mid there. Looks like he did. So he's probably just going to be taking that and having a bit of a peek in mid. And if he can find something here, then great. If not, maybe that goes back in the hands of Dubstep. Maybe Dispenser just chills and uses it.
You'd like to think so, but at this stage, Dubstep has made his way all the way to Palace, so I don't think he'll be coming back trying to see if he can nut anything out towards that position, as we do see the bomb dropped over towards T-Abs. So, pretty default stuff here, just seeing if Mineski can get anything, any kind of opening towards one of these bomb sites. It has kind of paid off every now and then, but look at this. The standoff between the smoke, Dubstep against Zeph. Who will peek first? Who will go down? Or will they just stare at each other blankly at the wall, not knowing that they're so close, and just walk away and be very underwhelming?
Well, again, this is a very crucial round coming out for Mineski because, like I've said, they've won a round, then they've lost 2 or 3 in a row, and then they've won one and lost 2 or 3 in a row, and now they've won one again. If they lose this one, that's 9-3, probably 10-3. Double eco comes out from Mineski there. You're starting to sort of set yourself up for 11 or 12 rounds on the CT side there for MVP PK. So Mineski really needs to double up a couple of rounds here if they're going to start to make this one look competitive. And it just doesn't seem like they have that consistency to be able to do that. Unless there's some mad entries being hit. And Zeph, he's going to go looking, and Dubstep is not watching the angle at the right time. Zeph, the timing's so good from him. But that does leave the connector into A open. Perry gets himself out into dark, but he's in a really tough spot here. He should at least get traded, but Hannibal gets rid of him straight away. I'm not sure why he filtered out instead of going back into Palace. And Zeph's going to get caught off guard as well from the back. So this is all going wrong for MVP PK, unless HSK can deny that bomb plant from CT here, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I thought Zeph there, that he wasn't too worried that the player was still there in the Palace position. The spam coming through the box. Unfortunately, HSK not able to land a shot, but that frag from Retrack there, really important because he could have done a lot of damage from that Palace area. And HSK, you expect him to land a couple of those shots at least. Maybe a bit of a whip coming through from them, but not in the best of situations. We do see 4 up coming from Mineski to win that 4th round for them, so a lot better looking, but I think that Q onto Dubstep just trying to work regardless of whether he went down or got that opening, as the bomb was poised in mid. So nice little play coming out from Mineski, and now here we have that proverbial economic strife.
Wow, just like your voice right now. MVP PK will be on an eco, so this is the chance now for Mineski to turn this into 5, which is, I suppose, not an awful T half, I guess. It gives them something to play with in the second half, but, I mean, really, they should probably be doing a little bit more than just 5 rounds on their T side. For now, though, they are in with the advantage for the first time in pretty much any round this half.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is not too familiar a sight, but this should be pretty standard. Nothing invested. HSK getting that lone P250, see if we can do anything. But, you know, let's not get away. We did see a Glock rush the other day from MVP. And they actually got over that round. That turned the tide for that whole entire map. But it looks like it won't be the case this time around, as these AKs are just finding the domes of these MVP players there. And that B-bomb side is completely free. The bomb's still towards T-spawn, so still got to make its way around. But it looks like the info will come out that this B-bomb site is free. HSK just kind of finding something, trying to find an easy little sneaky frag towards that ladder sniper's position, but it looks like he won't get too much at this stage.
Bomb not yet down on the B site. The rotation already starting to come across for MVP. Not to mention Dubstep is kind of isolated there, but does manage to get the kill quickly onto Perry and it falls back. I thought if he went down, you know, the AWP goes into the hands of probably HSK there, although he's over on the wrong side of the map as he does get taken down on short. So it would have probably gone into the hands of Zeph or Perry, but regardless, it's not going to be the case. As MVP, really not getting anything done in that round. Mineski, very, very nicely played anti-eco. 8-5 now. MVP want to take this one back and just start to claw their way back into this half, because now the tables have turned a little bit. It kind of feels like Mineski might be in with a shot of just turning this into an 8-7, and then, you know, what we were all saying about that start to the first half where we were like, okay, MVP's just rolling over them. It might not eventuate.
Yeah, so there was a bit of a change of play on the T side here for Mineski. We'll see if MVP can recalibrate and adjust and just lock this down once again. Perry going for that aggression towards main, going to fight Gee here. Needs to find the frag there, but the trade needs to come out. Once again, they lose two very easily towards A main, and that will open up this bomb site. HSK doesn't have the AWP that time and subsequently goes down to the AWP Dubstep, and now that is just absolutely dismal stuff for this round as the save is already called for the guys at MVP. So once again, that peak, the trade, if you're going to play so aggressively, you've got to get the trade, but I'd just rather think sit back.
Yeah,
it hasn't worked before. Don't try it again.
Particularly without any utilities as well. They were just dry peeking that, and like there was no one flashing them in or, you know, a smoke to kind of play around or anything like that. They just walked in, and Mineski obviously is going to get to that angle just a little bit quicker than the CTs are, and obviously they were waiting with the AKs as well. You're kind of just walking into a one-shot headshot.
Yeah, they need to try to save these guns as well, as they're not going to be working with too much coming up into that last round, but Solo here might get set up on the trade, should come through, doesn't even get the one. So Dispenser taking him out and making this an all-so dismal end economically for the guys at MVP to this half. They obviously will force buy into this, see if they can make something happen, but at this stage, 8-7, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, Elfish, I wouldn't have called it based on the way this map started. No,
definitely not. Would have been, like I said, I was thinking 11 or 12 rounds on the CT side there for MVP, the way that it was looking. But Mineski seems to have just figured out what MVP is doing on that CT side, and they're counterplaying it a little bit here. Scout comes out for Zeph, but the buy is not very good at all for MVP here. And so unless Zeph can really come up pretty big here in mid with that Scout or Glow, he does manage to get one, but he is going to be traded out, which is fine there for Mineski. No harm really done. Small is now spotted out as well. Not sure how HSK gets that kill, to be honest.
Just about to say, that is a absolutely crucial kill as well. As Glove's the only player with a rifle there. The FAMAS, he goes down, but HSK making that CZ work. There's a clip and a half left, just holding towards that connected position. We know that can be an absolute mincer in those close quarters, as Solo also gets himself in a nice little cozy position, just trying to hold down with that UMP and retract, just making sure the flank isn't coming through. So 3-on-4 here, as Zeph doesn't find anything. Nice little peek coming from retract, and Dubstep will find HSK. So now it is 2-on-3, and that bomb is down towards mid. They can go anywhere here. Solo needs to find this kill. Does get him down to 26, but now it's down to Perry rounded out. Looks like we'll be heading to an 8-7
Yes, definitely does seem as though that is going to be the case, though. Perry has rotated across to the B side, or he's in the process of it. Maybe just trying to fake out. He's going to go up short here. Nope, he doesn't decide to jump up onto short. But does get the FAMAS, so that's a little bit of an upgrade for Perry, and he's actually quite good with the FAMAS as well. Needs to find Dubstep, who's kind of just sitting in the smoke, going to go for a push, and wow, he still gets the kill. 8-7 at the end of the first half there. It's a pretty decent start, actually, all things considered, for Mineski. We'll see if they can keep that momentum rolling in the second half after the break.
Game, record, and stream without compromise on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back to the second half between MVP, PK, and Mineski. MVP started off excellently in the first half. They were sitting at, what, like 8-3 at one point, and then all of a sudden it sort of slips back to 8-7. Mineski got a good bout of rounds towards the end there, and so this round here pretty important actually for both teams to get off with a good start. And so far, Zeph is the one with that good start, but still 2 players to deal with on the A side and a few on B. This is a nice wrap, though, from MVP. A good split onto the B bomb side, and Zeph needs to get into market, though he will be taken down from behind. But overall, 2 versus 4 on a retake on the B bomb side, Danny. I don't see this one working.
Yeah, and not too much of an opportunity to really utilize the range of those USPs. So we do see both players into market, so information will be garnered there from Solo. But it is a 2-on-3 situation, so not really a way the flash will rain out. Dispenser jumping out of market, trying to find something, anything, but it looks like the post-plant positions are where these MVP players will stay. And there is absolutely very little time or chance that these guys get away with this, as that bomb has been mollied there. Dispenser will have to stick this through, and the pick will come through from short. He needs to make this frag, because it might get away with it actually and be a little bit cheeky, but Captain Cannibal unfortunately can't lead his way to clutch out that round. Nice solid play there from MVP PK. Loving the wraparound, and once again they do clean up with the pistols, so we'll see if they can attach these rounds and really kind of close out this map. But nice start for them to kind of regain that momentum, which definitely ended towards the favor of Mineski towards that later part of that first half.
Force buy into it from Mineski, though. Pistols armor, obviously the scout for Hannibal as well. Zeph's going to take the duel. A little bit of damage done over there to Hannibal. He's down to 20 HP, but he does look like he'll get out of there alive. Don't think there's a grenade to follow up here. Solo does have one, but he's not really in a position to be throwing it into the window because he is in T-Apps. But already a decent start to the round with all that damage coming out from MVP PK. And the scout does get dropped over to Dubstep as a result, so Hannibal giving up the weapon to the player with the full HP. And the armor as well. So maybe that's actually going to work out a little bit nicely here for Mineski. Obviously, Dubstep is the AWPer. The AWP and the Scout are kind of different. A little bit.
Different but the same.
Same but different.
I thought it was a nice nifty little boost up towards that mid position there. Retrack with the Deagle. I thought we could have found something, because it did look like MVP were going to kind of lean their way towards mid, as they do kind of get mid control now, and they will be pushing their way towards short. The season needs to go to work. He finds one, doesn't get the second, traded out by Perry. And as we know, Captain Hubble was very low. Retrack does manage to find one, not on the boost, but backed up towards, finds the second, drops the bomb as well there. And now the trade has to come out as a 2-on-4 situation. The AK is still in hand. Now it's 3. Dubstep has the scout still, but Solo just popping domes. He's been having a wonderful game thus far, and he tries to get the flick onto him, doesn't actually land a shot. And now look at old mate Dispenser coming through apps here. He could be...
He's the key.
Yeah.
He spots out Solo as well and sees Glow. The headshot comes across, but he does manage to clean it up. And now Solo trying to deal with this 2v1. Needs to get 4 kills in the round. He's been going well so far, but this is a difficult situation for him. Glock out now as well. Needs to hit some headshots and just can't get it done. Mineski clutch away. The force buy round into the second of the half. That was a bit messy from MVP.
Yeah, those 2 massive headshots with the Deagle from Retrack really shutting that B push down. And Solo, he's kind of had a chance there, but maybe getting a little bit flustered, getting pincered from both sides, and does bring up that round for Mineski. So nice start for him.
Just really needed to take one of those duels and commit to it, but it didn't work out for him. It seemed a little bit strange that MVP didn't recognize the fact that Apps wasn't clear. I mean, they seemed to just completely believe that Apps was free, and so Mineski able to take advantage of that, and they are going to buy into this round. But MVP has decided that they themselves would like to force into this round as well. And it seems like it might be a bit of an A push coming out here. Some utilities available for them, but they're going to go in dry. And that's not going to work out too well. Dispenser gets one, but the trade's kind of working in the favor of Mineski here. As I say that, though, things are just going backwards and forwards. Eventually, Solo does get taken down trying to cross, and Retrack cleans it up. But that was a bit, that was a bit strange for MVP again.
Yeah, just trying to get on there with brute force and with the lacking firepower. HSK getting that dink towards the end, but not able to take him down. So, kind of looked a little bit worrying, but the trade's going in favor in the end. And at the end of the day, if you have the 2 players up, that will get you the round 9 all. Mineski looking very threatening on their map pick here.
They certainly are.
They're looming.
It's 9 apiece, you know, so it's not like this has really gone by the wayside yet for MVP PK.
That's your favorite song, isn't it, with your German heritage?
Gone by the wayside.
No, 9 and 9, lift the balloons.
What?
Is
that
that
9 and 9? 9. It's different, mate.
Oh, Hannibal here. I thought he was going to get spotted, but just manages to use that MP9 and build some bank as well. Eventually gets taken down by Zeph, but the bomb has gone down here, so not the worst of rounds as Zeph manages to recover that SMG, see if he can build up some bank for himself, but he has given away his position with the noise cues here. And we'll take down Dispenser, but Dubstep will clean him up. So, bomb plant, and that's about it, really.
That's actually not too bad, though, for MVP. They didn't really buy anything in that round, so I think the bomb plant's fine. They got a couple of kills as well, which doesn't keep the Mineski economy low, but it does force them to rebuy a couple of guns. So any damage is good damage done by the T side, and the extra bomb plant money is going to be quite nice here for them. They're going to be able to get a few more utilities.
So we spoke about Dubstep. He is kind of just tailing towards the bottom of that ladder there with 10 and 14, but we'll see if he can do anything. He has got the AWP a lot earlier than he did on the T side, and obviously Mirage will himself, it looks like he will be heading towards, where is he heading towards with that AWP? I have no idea because we're going through a beautiful smooth here and the radar's gone, but he is just kind of holding that mid position from Connector, see if he can find something as Hannibal does open on to HSK and Perry as well. The trade comes through, but Dubstep, there's a little glimpse of what it can do if he warms into this round. It might be very difficult for the guys still an MVP to take control of mid as the spray comes through. Retrack finishing off and Glow just not quite landing his shots there. So it looks like they are quite confident over on the CT side here, the boys from the Philippines.
In saying that, we haven't seen anything really impressive from MVP here on the T side. They have just been walking into the bomb sites. It's not been executes. It's not been anything too fancy. No splits even. They have literally just been walking in a line to Mineski. So it's been good from Mineski, but I still think we need to see a little bit more out from MVP here. I mean, surely they've got something left in their back pocket here. Maybe not this round because they don't really have anything to work with apart from AK, so it is going to just be that tried and true push into the bomb site, though they do have a player out in mid, so they may be able to get a bit of a split across onto A if the timing is good from Solo, if he can find himself a frag in mid perhaps. They're going to have to wait behind all of these utilities that Mineski have got. And the peek comes out from HSK very wide. Zeph as well opens up onto Dispenser, and now the A-bomb side is well and truly open here for MVP. Solo in the meanwhile has got himself into Connector, and Dubstep, very difficult position to play with here in an AWP because he doesn't have any advantage as the flashbang comes out. HSK, another wide peek, gets himself an easy frag, and MVP will probably be finding this round with relative ease.
Yeah, considering that that flash was the last utility that had left, they did take down a key player in that with that AWP. So, I mean, really utilizing that single grenade they had, but it looks like the save will be coming out. The hunt maybe just staving off a little bit as the economy is not in the best of shape. We do see Glow clearing out that jungle position. Gear in a great position, but it's going to get pinned here by 3 different players and eventually will go down. And now it's just down to Retrack, and I believe they will be making their way towards him, but I think he's just going to pull away here. So he should manage to save that M4. Nice round coming up from MVP PK, which actually reminds me when I spoke to Solo when he was here for the Zen League Finals. He, you know, we saw a lot of really progressive rushes down mid of Inferno, and it really did pay off for them. And I asked him, why are you guys doing that? This isn't matchmaking. And he's like, you know what? We really back ourselves. We think we're the sharpest aimers around, and you know, sometimes we can just do that. But I mean, those entries were ground to that A bomb site, but you cannot rely on that every time. And if they do get into that position, or just in that sentence with the sound.
Great for MVP to be able to win that round, though, considering they had literally a smoke and a flashbang. That's all that they had in that round. HSK able to get a frag early on in the piece as well. A little bit quicker to that apartments line than Retrack was. And this time MVP is definitely poised in a much better position than they were in that last round. G is going to go for a bit of an information play here, knowing that they're down a player, wants to see what's going on in mid, and kind of spots not really a whole lot, though he does get flashed, so that in itself is a bit of information as MVP start to creep up towards short.
Yeah, so he's not going to get too much here as the second smoke rains in, and Dubstep will have to lock this down. It does look like Glow is heading towards Abstairs. He's going to hold a bit more of a passive angle as the sound cue's coming out. Solar, he should go down, so that is a cue that the AWP is on site, and they're not going to give too much away here. It is a 3-on-3, a little bit of utility left on the guys for CT, so retake could be on here, but it's going to be very difficult with Dubstep just being an absolute pain in the neck here.
Yeah,
just making sure the bomb doesn't go down. He's
doing an amazing job right now, just of delaying here for Mineski. The rotation is coming across slowly but surely. Dispenser, though, oh, he's on short. I thought he was coming through the underpass. HSK is watching that line, though, in apartments and will absolutely clean up Spencer, which is huge here for MVP. If they would have lost the next frag, that might have been the round over. And even with 30 seconds left on the board, this is starting to look a little bit worrisome. Dubstep hits a great shot onto Glow and rotates his position across. Still, they don't know really where he is, and HSK is going to go for the peak. That gives away the position. Zeph should clean him up here, which means Hannibal is now in a pretty poor spot. 1v2. The bomb not yet planted, though, from MVP. And if he gets Zeph, HSK now has to clutch this one out 1v1. Does get the shot across, though. But that was very messy, really, from MVP. Taking so long to get rid of those players on the B site. They couldn't get the bomb down. It was really just touch and go for pretty much, like, almost half that round.
Yeah, it was. It was grim indeed, but HSK coming up huge. They're actually quite fortunate when he took that pick from Abs that Dubstep didn't take him down, and that shot could have definitely turned around on its head as we do see the pistol upgrades coming out. No armor invested, a single HE nade onto Gee and retrack with that flash, so we'll see if they can get a couple of frags, maybe recover a couple of these guns, but at this stage it looks like MVP should have this round in the bag to take it up to 12. Having said that, we've seen MVP kind of get a little bit cocky towards rounds like this and drop a couple of their players and find themselves in more strife than they should, but it looks like they might be just playing this a little bit more passively, just watching those angles, making sure they don't get caught out in those corners. As Zeph will just line up this smoke once again to smoke out snipers, as there isn't too much of a presence there really. And there's a bomb site if they go through connector and find the frag of Dispenser, who's got that P250. It is close range nonetheless, but he has no armor on him. If he goes down, that's going to be a freeze site for them as the stack is towards B. And it looks like the players of MVP are reading this very carefully. They're not checking the corner though, so Dispenser might be able to do a bit of damage, but actually manages to get into connector, but no idea. Yeah, they have no idea. He needs to find the frag, so finds one, but does get traded out. So sneaky little play, just trying to do something dynamic there, but manages to get one, which won't be enough at this stage unless Dubstep can find a frag with the Digger, which he doesn't. So it looks like the round might be favoring MVP at this stage.
Hannibal has found himself an AK though here, so we shall see what he is going to be able to do. Solo looks like he wants to cross back, but no, actually just going into dark. HSK watching the T-spawn line will get an easy kill there onto Gee, and it's 2 versus 4. I think at this point, Hannibal probably just wants to save that AK, and he's already run off towards the B site, which is fair enough. So a pretty easy round at the end of the day there for MVP. They just walk into the A bomb site. They don't really have to get any entries or anything like that. And 3 in a row now for MVP. This is going to put them again in the lead at 12 and 11, but it's been a very backwards and forwards first map. So it's just still too early to call, I feel, who's actually going to come out of this map with a win.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get a bit more of the story closer on as Retrack does go down to that bomb there, but he only had the P250, nothing much invested at all. And, you know, they did get away with that AK, so it's not the worst of situations. An AK might make that margin of difference to really kind of back these utilities coming into this next round. Having said that, though, their money is not the greatest. They will have that 4th round loss bonus if they do go down here, but that's not going to be enough to bank anything to try to stave off this MVP attack. So the AWP onto Dubstep, giving his team every chance. Utility is still a little bit lacking in this round as well, but if they go down here, MVP should be able to get to 14.
Yeah, this map really is, I think, going to just come down to which team loses the round at the wrong time and gets reset or gets forced onto an eco that allows their opponent to just either catch up or take the lead in kind of an unattainable position. So MVP this round, like you say, very, very important for them. Mineski needs to pick up a win, and Dubstep just gets cleaned up there by Zeph. Dispenser, a 1-for-1 trade is not good enough on that A-bomb site. And Hannibal, pushing through the smoke, does catch Perry off guard, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough as MVP are finally making those trades start to work in their favor, which they haven't really been doing too well so far this map. Get the bomb down on the A site and retrack with just the M4 here. You can't really hope for anything from him in this situation.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a kit on him. He does have full body armor and no utility, so at this stage he's just going to camp out here, see if he can find a second frag if the hunt does come on, which does look like it will slowly be progressing from solo, but I mean, even if he does manage to save this gun into the round, a lot of these players will be on like 2,900, maybe like close to 3-ish K. That's not going to be enough. If they force into and then lose that, that's going to be the game. So it's going to be a big call coming out here to see what Mineski will do. I mean, if he manages to save this M4, there might be a chance that they can buy up and force around it and just try to stave off that 14th, 15th round, which does add a lot of pressure to the map. But at this stage, it is definitely looking like MVP have just straightened up and kind of outclass their opponents at the line here.
Yep, and that seems to be kind of always what they do in these longer series. You know, they kind of go toe-to-toe with their opponents, and then push comes to shove, they're at, you know, like 13-13 or something like that, and then they can just clean it up 16-13 or 16-14. Maybe Mineski still has something left for us here. I mean, they'll be ecoing this round out, more or less. They'll go to 14-11, but then they're going to have another gun round here. So the story is not yet fully told, Danny. Might not be getting, or might not want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but MVP is definitely in the optimal position to close out this first map.
Yeah, so you're not fully told. More of a movie production studio approach of splitting the last one into 7 parts to make the most money possible.
Yep.
So stay tuned. We may have a game yet on our hands, but it looks like MVP.
Next year.
Next year. And then the year after that, and then a couple of spin-off series.
Yep.
Yep.
Easy entries into the A site, though. And by entries, I mean not entries, because they just walked in.
Oh, that was awkward.
Gets fully flashed out, and Steph finds himself 2 kills. So there you go. That's probably the round done and dusted. Retrack already hightailing his way over to the B site to save the M4. That was fun. That round.
Indeed, Zeph there. He's got the 4 kills. If he spots out Captain Hannibal, he might just be the confidence boost he needs to go on this hunt there. He might find Dubset as well. So it looks like he's just kind of spraying all these corners, letting his presence be known. And definitely worth the hunt here. Information gathered from both HSK and Glow that they're not towards that T-spawn area, so Zeph might head towards that big bomb site and really take this rifle out of Retrack's hand, which you have saved from the last round. He's holding that van position, and it's going to be up to Dubstep to sort of be his little drone to report to him if players are coming or not. But it looks like he will be able to get away with that rifle. Yeah.
Glow's
He's
charging
trying.
in.
He's trying. He should go down here, though. There you go.
It's a good kill from Retrack. Not going to affect MVP all that much, though, as they have plenty of cash to rebuy into this one. And Retrack keeping the M4 is going to be nice. A lot of extra utilities available for him. So it's a good buyout from Mineski, but this is kind of do or die. If they lose this, it's pretty much game over.
The last roll of the dice for Mineski. They have everything they could want for Dubstep. Obviously, opting for that AWP is a little short on utilities and head armor, but at this stage makes a little difference there. The peak coming through the shoulder, just maybe not getting the angle quite right, and Solo just gets absolutely tagged through the wall there for being a little bit clumsy, but nonetheless, he gets away with his life, which is the important factor here, as the bomb shapes up towards those T-apps.
But Solo still peeking out into mid. He's a very brave man. He's already taken a big chunk from that orb. It's kind of crucial that he's going to be able to at least maybe not take control of mid, but if he can deny the rotations through mid, that's going to be good enough for MVP. And it does seem as though he sort of swindled himself into the ladder room, which is excellent here for MVP. Now they're going to have some presence on short, some presence in apps.
Good
use
of swindle.
Good use of swindle. You like it?
I like that word.
Yeah, I do like it as well. And they need to make sure that they can get these entries onto the B side. If MVP do that, it's going to be a pretty straightforward round from them, I feel like. But here comes the push, and Retrack takes a big chunk of damage from that Molotov, and they should know that he's up there, really. Dropping that smoke kind of gives away the fact that there's a player there, and they will get him and clean him up quite easily. Glow and Solo, some good work from them in this round. 2 versus 4 for the retake. Don't think that's even worth trying if I was Mineski.
Yeah, that smoke goes down, and Dubstep is like, you know, I'm done. I'm done here. I'm going to head back, and, you know, obviously he did... because this round will just slow right down here as we do see the save coming out. Dubstep obviously made his choice maybe like 3-4 years ago when Dubstep was a thing. But maybe not the wisest decisions. I don't mean to rag on his name here, but it's kind of, that phase is done and dusted, right? Like,
yeah,
it's like if I in my heyday named myself Discotech, and like I was
mate,
still
Discotech's awesome, okay? Not sure why you're ragging on Discotech. Dubstep, I'm not a fan of, really. Oh, God, and he's probably not going to be a fan of that shot.
Oh,
Gets
no.
absolutely punished
That's
for it as
huge.
well.
He needs to land that. Come on,
Yeah.
Dubstep. He heard us. He was crying. He was like, they don't like my name. And then just gets absolutely set upon and loses that WP. So the shred of chance they had with that dynamite play. Having said that, we gave him a bit of, well, at least I definitely gave him a big rap before this game. And he's 13-20, really just not finding his feet in this map. We'll see if he can in Inferno, which is our second map. MVP's PK's choice. We'll be going to a knife into that to decide sides as well. So that's going to be a huge turning point for either team, because if MVP do end up on that CT side, as you called it, Elfish, it's going to be very difficult to draw this series back for Mineski.
Yes, and here we go. Finally seeing a bit of an execute out from MVP by the looks of things. They've thrown a few smokes into mid, trying to fake that out, I think. But the smokes are going to come across into the A-bomb site very shortly. One there for jungle.
Hannibal's
I
got
think
a lot
there's
of
one
information
for the stairs and one for CT, but no trade for that first entry. Dispenser doing a really good job here. Retrack also finding one, and he's in a pretty good spot there, just looking through that hole in the smoke. So the smoke's not quite thrown perfectly there from MVP, although perhaps that was the idea, as Zev catches Gi off guard. Also looks like he was going to get that one onto retrack, but doesn't quite calibrate his aim, and the flashbang does sort of mess it up for him, and eventually Mineski ended up closing out that round. The rotation across from the B-side players was very fast there for Mineski, but that's not going to bother MVP all that much. Look at the money that they've got. They'll be able to buy out the rest of this map.
Absolutely, indeed. Whereas on the other side, if maybe they're on 13, they could grind something out, but if they drop this round, it'll be very... well, you know, if Mineski drop this round, they lose. But if MVPK drop this round and Mineski don't take those plays through, they're going to be... the guns are just going to get worse and worse. So at this stage, they do have full bars. This will be the round to determine how this game finishes out and if MVP can just end it now. That's not the most convincing of rounds there, but that was some great information gathered by Captain Hannibal, just running through apps and just clearing out B. Hey, no one's here. Lock A down, lads, and this is exactly what they did. This time around, though, just a little bit slower here for the guys on MVP with that bomb towards the apps position as HSK is going to see if he can open up here. If Retrack goes for that jump peek, he might find the frag, but HSK just the timing of that scope out, not finding the ability to land that shot. Glow gets taken down to 30 as well, and HSK taking a little bit of damage from the nade and the molly getting on 71, but does have the AWP in hand. I think he's going to be aware of the situation that Gee's here, but I doubt he'll go out to dry peek, especially holding that orb. I'm sure he'll think of something better than that.
This short play is the key, though. Retrack, if he just gets absolutely demolished here, which he could, completely flashed out, that might be it. Solo, 2 excellent entries onto that B bomb side, and now MVP are in with a very good chance of closing this round out, though Dubstep, I almost thought he was going to push forward there to try and deny the bomb plant, but does not decide to do that. And now Solo's managed to get all the way around behind him. Goes for the no-scope. And that's going to be nowhere near where he was aiming. 16 and 12 for MVP to close out map number 1 here on Mirage.
Was that through the spam spot, that last shot from HSK?
I don't know.
We're going to say that again, because that was insane. Nonetheless, though, Dispenser not too much of a chance there, but a little bit of flair from HSK if that was the case. And there you have it. MVP carrying out Mirage.
Yeah, good stuff from MVP. We sort of questioned how things were going to go there on Mirage, and it took them a while, 16-12, a fairly close scoreline. It did seem like at one point Mineski was actually looking a little bit better there to close it out. They were coming back, they ended up getting the lead, but then things started to slip again. MVP got their stuff together on that T side and eventually closed it out. So I think 16-12 is a good scoreline for MVP. Mineski probably a bit disappointed by that. They would have wanted, and I think they probably needed that first map as well if they were going to take this series to map number 3. Like you said, we're moving on to Inferno next. I definitely feel as though MVP has got the upper hand in that one, particularly if the knife goes their way and they start off on CT.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an absolute tall order here. And, you know, we just came off that map pick, which was Mirage, and the T side for Mineski was a little bit lacking there. The kind of good rounds that they did have was because of, you know, that kind of aim and the one-out plays. And I don't know, going to a map that is not favorable if, on the flip side of the coin, they're really favorable to MVP. They might be struggling there because we know what these guys can do to lock down those bomb sites.
Well, we will find out. Danny, first though, we will head to a quick break, but we'll be back shortly with map number 2.